Welcome to Season 6, Race 15 of my F1 2020-19 Career Mode. And we are here at Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. And as you can see, qualifying was very, very close. Bottas just barely, by the slimmest of margins, beat me for pole, which... honestly, this is the one instance where I don't mind not getting pole, because I should get a good enough start that easily pass Bottas at turn 1 or on the way to turn 1. So starting second isn't really that much of a concern for me. So yeah, and then we'll just take a look at the championship standings real quick, just to remind you where we are. Ricciardo leads Verstappen by 5 points. I am 13 back. Hamilton is 26 back. And they have Leclerc and Bottas still clinging on there. And if you look at the starting order, Ricciardo and Verstappen starting right next to each other, and I'm in front of both of them, so all the championship contenders are up front, so it should be a fun race in Monza.
I think we can call that a successful qualifying. We should be in with a good chance in the race.
Alright. Weather not an issue, so let's go straight to the race.
It's time for the Italian Grand Prix once again, here at the beloved and iconic Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. With the lowest downforce and drag of any circuit in the season, expect to see drivers making the most of the slipstream effect here today. With top speeds reaching 215 miles per hour, only a few places can challenge Monza's crown as the fastest circuit in F1. Hard braking zones going into the 3 chicanes make up the majority of the 11 corners on this 3.6-mile circuit. And just in case the slipstream wasn't enough, 2 DRS zones will help encourage some closer action. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. They must be starting to feel the pressure at this point, Ant. Surely. There's a real shot at the title on the cards here, but one error at the wrong time, well, that could throw it all away.
Of course, there's never a good time to make mistakes, but it will feel 10 times worse if it happens at such a critical point of the season. Let's hope this contest is settled where it should be, on track, wheel to wheel.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and the owner driver alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Ricciardo, Verstappen, Charles Leclerc and Hamilton, Ocon, Matsushita, Gasly and Lando Norris, Kvyat, Stroll, Luca Giotto and Sainz, Giovinazzi, Albon, Jack Aitken and Kevin Magnussen, De Vries, Latifi, Calderon and George Russell ends our grid lineup.
So the major grid penalty there.
With your podium last race, the team are hoping for more of the same, but with yesterday's qualifying performance, it could be tough. Good luck.
Oh, we'll be fine, Jeff. Don't worry. As I say, Albon, there are 2 grid penalties. Albon was one of them, and he qualified in 6th. And Hamilton had been in 7th, so that's going to jump Hamilton up 1 spot to 6th. So, all the championship rivals will be in the top 6 for the start of this Grand Prix.
Okay, our system checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of the lap.
So after a surprising win in Belgium, Albon is stricken with a grid penalty. More than likely for changing engine components. And Bottas, he's really looking to bounce back, you know. Albon is right there, but he pretty much had the win in the bag until the engine let go on him. And he dropped out of the race.
Okay, our main competitors in this race are Bottas and Ricciardo. Radar is clear, weather is looking good for now. Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
Tired, but that's alright. We're getting ready to go here.
Conditions look stable at the moment. No rain currently expected.
Alright.
The rest of the
Get
grid is
ready to
forming
line
up.
up
Be
and
patient
start.
and watch for the lights.
The Italian Grand Prix Monza track we typically win at, but we're going to do our best. Alright, 5 red lights. Here we go. Lights out. Away we go in the Italian Grand Prix, and look at that start. We fly by Valtteri Bottas in the Mercedes. Now got the 2 Ferraris going side by side. Ricciardo actually lost some spots there. He dropped back 3rd to 5th. Things not going his way so far in terms of the championship, though it is early, so a lot of racing left to go.
Okay, that's a good start. Keep it up.
twitched a little there. Didn't get the best turn. The Lesmo one. Bottas hanging in there strong. Scary chicane. Bottas is there as we are in DRS, or he is in DRS range of me. And he sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Meanwhile, behind me, the Ferraris go side by side. So they're going to hold each other up there. Did Ricciardo get by Verstappen? It looks like he did. Look at that. Oh, they're side by side. That could open the door for Hamilton there to take advantage. I'm not sure who got DRS at that point. Actually, let me see if I can look and see when that pass was made. Just gotta determine who's gonna get the DRS. Ricciardo might have just been ahead of Verstappen, which would mean that Ricciardo is not going to get the DRS. We'll find out in a second. Actually, very curious about that. Let's take a look. Oh, Ricciardo did get the DRS. So Verstappen is the one who got stuck there. And looks like Hamilton, my teammate, is going to blow by him for that position. Battling throughout the field is really intriguing, especially since it concerns the championship. So Hamilton up into P5, Ricciardo up to P4, and now Leclerc is going to be the one in the danger zone here.
With extra fuel target +1.
Because he is not in DRS range of Bottas, while Ricciardo is in his DRS range, so could be an opportunity for Ricciardo this next lap.
Use your overtake button more, it's time to utilize some of this energy.
Yeah, Verstappen's really having some problems back there. I think he just got passed by one of the Renaults. That's Esteban Ocon. So Verstappen must be having some sort of... He must be having some sort of issue, because he's... Either he's having an issue, or the Ferraris are just slower than I expected. Which could be the case, because Leclerc is sort of holding up Ricciardo and Hamilton a little bit. Because me and Bottas are continuing to both pull away from Leclerc, so that's entirely possible. It's entirely possible that the Ferraris just do not have the race pace compared to the Mercedes in our team. But yeah, surprised that Verstappen is having to fend off from Renault. Which isn't even a top 5 fastest car. You know, the Red Bull and the AlphaTauri are both faster than the Renault. So, yeah, very interesting to see what's going on with Verstappen back there. Here comes Bottas. Attempt to move. Cut him off. Purple Sector 1.
Strategy is available on the MFD. Copy that.
Purple Sector 1. And I think for the first time in this race, Bottas will not be in DRS range. Actually broken the barrier. So here Bottas does not have DRS. So we'll see if we can extend the gap any. Through the Scar chicane. See if we can keep him out of DRS range for the main straight. I think we're going to be able to. Almost a second and a half ahead of Bottas. He will not have the advantage of DRS.
We're leading our teammate by 5.2 seconds.
Meanwhile, Ricciardo has really closed the gap to Leclerc there for P3.
Pretty much burned off our excess fuel. We'll be back on target soon. Don't wait too long to turn the engine down.
It's now just about 2 seconds. I think Leclerc is on the verge of getting passed by Ricciardo here.
Be aware we expect the grip levels to start falling away soon.
Yep, and Ricciardo has gotten by Charles Leclerc. Caught him mid-pass here because he just blows by Leclerc, who does not have the DRS. Meanwhile, Verstappen has just dropped like a rock. Started in 4th, got up to 3rd, and is now in 8th. So not a good day for the man who's, you know, only 5 points out of the championship lead. And now that Ricciardo is where he is, I am so curious to see what progress he can make in terms of catching his teammate, potentially overtaking him, and potentially challenging myself for the win. I can say the thing I'm happy about,
You'll be on the mediums.
at least for me, is that I know that
You're increasing the gap on the car behind by 0.5 per lap.
Ricciardo will not be a threat before the pit stops, because I'm so far ahead of him. So if he does catch me, it will likely be after the cycle of pit stops, which at that point, I don't think a defense shouldn't be that difficult of a task. And
Let's
to be
use
fair
overtake and burn some of this energy.
to be fair to Leclerc, he is still managing to keep in touch with Daniel Ricciardo via the DRS. Still managing to stay within DRS range, so hoping that maybe Leclerc can provide some trouble for Ricciardo. Because that's the thing with Monza. If you don't pull away, you're going to run into a problem of the other guys that you're trying to pass getting DRS. actually, Leclerc managed to get Ricciardo back for third place. Let's take a look at that. Yep, there he goes. There goes Leclerc. Okay, Hamilton is right there too. And he has DRS, so if those two get to battling, Hamilton's going to be right there to pounce. Now we are scheduled to pit on the next lap, lap 13. That's when we're going to come in for our stop. Curious to see when these other guys pit. And if they do, what kind of traffic do they come out in front of or behind?
We want to pit this lap, so push now.
Tire wear is good. We got some takers in the pit lane now.
Lewis is in the pits.
Looks like that was Bottas who gets first priority in Mercedes since he was in first of the two. And then Leclerc, and then my teammate Hamilton. And then Ocon, and then Matsushita, and then Kyoto all come in. Verstappen stays out, Ricciardo stays out. Actually, 7 seconds ahead of Ricciardo now. Leclerc got very lucky to get out ahead of that Renault. If he did, he would have been held, for sure. Looks like Bottas is in a little bit of traffic. Actually, take a look. So there's Bottas. He's got an Alfa Romeo. That is Kevin Magnussen. And he's going to go side by side with Bottas. And that's going to hurt Bottas a lot. Right there. So that's good news for me. In any potential case of an undercut from Bottas, he's getting held up there. So what's interesting that holds up Bottas for sure, but it's not going to hold up Ricciardo or Leclerc or Hamilton because they're a couple seconds back of Bottas. So if anything, it's going to help them catch Bottas.
Right, come in at the end of this lap. Affirmative. Medium tyres at the next stop.
And we're going to do a mid-session save right here. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see where Ricciardo comes out amongst those guys in terms of the positioning. There goes Ricciardo behind me into the pits. Bottas has gotten by Kevin Magnussen's Alfa Romeo.
Release, release. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. We're not not going to be able to run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over
Yeah, it looks like
target. Drop down
Ricardo
to mix
is going
too
to
soon.
get jumped by Hamilton, so not the best pit stop sequence there for Ricardo. He's going to lose track position. You can see Hamilton just edges him out. Verstappen will remain in 8th place. And, that's interesting. Verstappen has gone with hard tires. Not sure why. Especially when Ocon is on mediums, Matsushita's on mediums, mediums, all mediums behind him. And in front of him, medium. So, I don't know what Ferrari was really thinking there, putting Verstappen on hard tires. Seems like a strategy blunder. So Bottas is still out of DRS range of Leclerc, but he's a lot closer to them than he was previously. See what happens there. And yeah, that was the pit stop sequence. And it's just from here, it's just a matter of keeping the fenders clean and making sure we don't run out of gas. Use our fuel properly. Come home to get the victory. Of course, there's always the possibility of a safety car, but we will cross that bridge when we get there.
Gap to teammate behind is 6.8 seconds. The gap to the car behind is 4.5 seconds.
Actually, just Lewis Hamilton just got by Leclerc as we set the fastest lap of the race. So our teammate making some moves to work his way into the podium. Leclerc and Hamilton still going side by side back there. That's only going to bring Ricardo back into the fight.
We've got a lot of spare energy. Use your overtake button.
Very tight battle for third with Hamilton, Leclerc, and Ricciardo. Leclerc might have lost out. Take a look at that. Yeah, so Leclerc had DRS, but Ricciardo was still very close. As they go side by side through the first chicane, Ricciardo's going to win it out, though. Leclerc should be able to hold on to the back of him if he can stay within 1 second. Actually, it's Hamilton who's built a gap to Ricciardo, so things might be trickier yet for Ricciardo. If he's in DRS range, he's barely in DRS range of Hamilton. He's definitely not in a position to pass. I've completely lost track of Verstappen. I don't even know where he is anymore. He's dropped to 10th and he's getting hounded by Gasly for 11th. So, a disastrous race for Max Verstappen and Ferrari. Came into this race only 5 points out of the championship lead. He's going to take a hit. Look at that battle for third place. Ricciardo with a big head of steam on Hamilton, but oh, great defensive driving by Hamilton, just cutting off Ricciardo going into the first chicane. And for the moment, he's going to hold on to third place, and they might have company coming soon because Danny Kvyat in the AlphaTauri is not that far behind. In 6th place. Those guys keep mixing it up for third. They're just going to bring more people to them. It's going to add another dynamic to that battle for the final spot in the podium. Let's take a look at that battle again for third place. Again, Ricciardo has a huge run. Looks to the outside, but that gives Hamilton the better lane out of the exit of the chicane. He's going to pinch Ricciardo off a little bit. He's just going to barely hold on to that position. Meanwhile, I just set a purple first sector. I already have the fastest lap point at the moment.
We advise moving to mix 2, fuel to mix 2.
There we go, new fastest lap of the race. Love to see it.
You're pulling out a second lap on the car behind.
Let's take a look at the battle for third again. There comes Ricciardo. He's going to have the better line. Ricciardo, that's a bold move into the first turn. A very bold move by Ricciardo. Let's take a look at that from his perspective. And a dart to the right. Hamilton blocked the best he could, but Ricciardo held his ground, and he might get third place out of it. Does for the moment, but Hamilton and Leclerc are still very much behind him, so we'll see if he can hold on, because now he's not going to be the one with DRS, it's going to be Hamilton and Leclerc. Ricciardo, unless he can get away, he's going to be the one that's doing all the defending. And ooh, did I see a swap for positions between Hamilton and Leclerc? That. And that might secure third place for Ricciardo. Those two guys going at it.
Battery charge is high. Let's use that overtake
now
button
Danny
more.
Kvyat has passed Lewis Hamilton for 5th place. Now they're battling for position.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Rossi definitely wants to see a Ferrari on the podium. Let's see if Leclerc can give it to him. Leclerc still hanging in there. He's just under a half second behind Ricciardo, so those two are going to be battling still, I think. Meanwhile, Hamilton is going to have to deal with Danny Kvyat for 5th place. We're about to come up on
You're
some lap
increasing the gap
traffic
on the car behind by 0.5 per
in
lap.
the form of the Williams cars. Cauldron's going to be the first one I'm going to come up to here to lap. And I just did not pay attention and drove off the track. Cauldron's making the blue flags. She will give me DRS assistance. Thank you very much.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
Leclerc just got by Ricciardo for 3rd, so that battle is continuing. No DNFs in this race, which is a little surprising, not gonna lie. Uh-oh. Someone's got a problem. Well, it's one of the AlphaTauris. Slow. Looks like that's Gyoto.
You're losing a small amount of time to the car behind. Keep pushing.
Looks like he's gonna end up retiring the car. saying there were no retirements in the race, then one happened. It's Luca Chiozzo. Of course, no safety car, and it'd be too late in the race for a safety car that would impact anything, so if one didn't come out, the race would effectively be over.
Yellow flag. Be aware, there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags. Okay, clear.
And here we go.
This is your final lap.
Final
lap of the race.
lap of the race.
There's only one lap of fuel remaining.
Bottas now just trying to get through the lap traffic. The Williams cars. They might play a factor in deciding the podium, we'll see. Meanwhile, from the looks of it, Max Verstappen is in a very tight battle for that last points-paying position. Yeah, he's going side by side with the Renault of Gasly, I think that is. Oh, I just looked outside and noticed that it's raining. Here we are, going to come across the line to win the Italian Grand Prix.
Great job, you've done everything we wanted today.
And I believe that might give us the lead in the championship. We'll see in a moment. Alexander Albon wins Driver of the Day.
There's a few disappointed faces up and down the pit wall after that one, but not here. They secured a phenomenal victory. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory
Leclerc
today. That combination meant they got the
Ferrari in
absolute
the podium,
maximum out
which
of their
I'm sure
tyres
will
at
make
all
the Italian
times.
crowd very happy.
The faces on our top three look so incredibly happy as they make their way up to the podium. A much-deserved victory and a brilliant performance from them all.
And Italy is just one of those tracks where you do very, very well, much like Baku Street Circuit.
So let's review the updated driver standings. After today's impressive result, we have a new points leader. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
It's an interesting one today. On balance, I think I have to call out Alexander Albon. A really solid drive from him today, and one that he and his team should be proud of.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. The owner-drivers team moved to the top of the table. Meanwhile, a strong weekend from Red Bull this time out, and they improved their position in the championship. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
Alright, and that is it for the Italian Grand Prix. Actually, just saw this. Valtteri Bottas pipped us at the line for the fastest lap point, so in 25 instead of 26. Take a look at the championship standings. Constructors, still very close. Lead is basically swapped again. Monster Energy Racing up top. Mercedes second, behind by 6. The Ferrari minus 15. While Red Bull jumps to 4th. Driver standings. It's dead heat. Myself and Dan Ricciardo. I guess we get the nod because we have more wins. Assuming that's the reason why it's listed as such. There you go. The top 6 separated by only 36 points. It is very tight at the top. That's for sure. And I don't think we'll be having the lead coming out of the next Grand Prix. Because that's Singapore, which is traditionally a tougher race for me, depending on how things work out. But yeah. So Ricciardo and me are tied. Verstappen, it has to be said, not a good day for him. With the wrong tire choice and strategy. Could have gained a lot more points had he settled in 7th or 8th. He would have just stayed in touch even just a little bit more, but nevertheless, he is in 3rd, 17 points out. Leclerc actually jumps Hamilton for 4th. He is now 28 points at the lead. Hamilton 30 back. Bottas gains the ground, be only 36 back. So all it's going to take is going to be a bad day from Ricciardo or myself to blow this thing wide open again. But, yeah, we'll see how that turns out. The ensuing races, this is actually turning out to be quite a title fight right now. Anything can happen.
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours. It doesn't get much better than a win at this track, does it? You've taken the lead in the championship. Are you going to be able to keep up that momentum? You performed better than last weekend. What changed? How do you feel the competition is for you this season? Appreciate your time.
We've got a lot of cash sitting around doing nothing. We should start investing that in facility improvements.
Alright, gotta renew some sponsors here. Let's take care of that. Delivery department. Everything looks to be in order. Yeah, I always find it fun to look at this chart and see the different results throughout the season, where the only driver who's really scored, well, he got 14th in Hungary, and that's not even really true. Yeah, Mercedes. Bottas has had 3 different DNFs this season, which has definitely hampered his efforts, because if you look at him, talking Bottas specifically, he's, you know, well, I guess really the last several races, he's had 3 second place finishes, 3 DNFs, and a 14th. Which might as well be a DNF, because you scored no points. So, much like real life, currently, Bottas is incredibly inconsistent. Hamilton has had 2 DNFs. Ferrari has actually been a very reliable car. They've only had 1 DNF, and that was with Verstappen in Austria. And Ricardo... Yeah, it's so weird, too, looking at Ricardo, considering he got off to such a bumpy start to the season. With 2nd in Austria, losing out to Lewis Hamilton, then having 2 straight non-points finishes. And now, all of a sudden, he's been the guy to beat, really, ever since his double wins in Spain and Monaco. But yeah, he has 3 wins and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I'm assuming that's why I have the edge of the points lead. Yeah, that's all. And Bottas, I think this is the 2nd time that's happened to him where he's had a very strong start to the season, but then his second half just sort of falls off. I think it was my first season where he... through like Canada, he had like 4 wins. And then by the end, it just all fell apart on him. Alright, and now all that stuff's taken care of. We'll just go straight through the activities. That is it for the Italian Grand Prix. We'll see you next time we go to the streets of Singapore.